Hello everybody, it's Maikito. I hope everybody's having a good day, a good night, and has had a pretty good day today, yesterday. I didn't have a video the other day just because there was no games. There was a couple of MLS ones for playoffs and then one top 5 league one. So didn't find anything that I liked, but there are 3 Serie A games when it comes to at least the player props, and there's plenty of cup games for European teams like the German league and the English league and stuff like that. So I found some that I liked for player props, found some that I liked for money line. So I just get straight into those, not waste any time. And my first pick is Roberto Piccoli to a higher than 2.5 shots, playing at home for Cagliari, going up against Bologna. This one is on underdog. I know on PrizePicks it's at 3. You can still take it there. A push is better than nothing. He's gone over in his last 3 out of 5 games and has gone over in 6 out of 9 overall this season. And he's averaged 3.27 shots per 90 so far. And he's not afraid to shoot even against bigger team. Bologna's a bigger team. Probably not as big as the bigger ones, but they're still a pretty good team. He shot 4 shots against Torino, 4 shots against Juventus, 3 against Napoli, and he has 6 against Roma. So again, he's not afraid to shoot against these big teams. And Bologna so far have allowed 11.5 shots away from home, which is a decent amount. Not a high amount, but still good enough for him to shoot. And Bologna try to hold possession. Cagliari are a team that hold less the possession, but Piccoli's a counterattack threat, and he likes to dribble. He's also 6'2" and wins 81% of aerial duels. And I think at home, this is a good line to take. Bologna's not been doing as good in the league because they've been focusing a lot more on the European competition. So Cagliari at home, Piccoli likes to shoot. He's not afraid to shoot against big teams. I like the line. I like the matchup. So I like Roberto Piccoli to a higher than 2.5 shots. My next pick is on the other side. Is Remo Freuler to go higher than 64.5 passes, playing away from home for Bologna, going against Cagliari. Right before I was about to record, he was at 62.5. He got bumped to 64.5. I'm still taking it there. I wouldn't take it higher than about 66.5 or something like that, just because it's going to be pretty close. But I still like it at 64. I like it because Bologna like to hold possession while Cagliari does not. And if you look at opponents that Cagliari has faced and how possession they gave up, they gave 64% to Udinese, 58% to Torino, 73% to Juventus, 61% to Parma, and 57% to Roma. And the games in which Remo has gone over, he hasn't gone over in much games. He's only gone over in 2 of them. But it's because in the games that he doesn't go over, it's because he goes against teams that hold about 50% of the ball, or maybe Bologna was up and then they just gave away possession. But he went over with 83 against Parma, in which Bologna has 71% of the ball. He went over with 87 against Monza, in which they have 58% of the ball. I expect Bologna to get at least that 58 to 70% mark, and if he does, I like this line. He went over in 1 game against them last season. He played 1 game. He went way over with 92 passes, with 64% possession, which is again what I expect him to get. And in the other game, when they faced each other and he didn't play, the CDM for Bologna, in which he would have been if he wasn't there, still had 94 passes with 72% possession. He's the ball play midfielder. They play 2 CDMs. The other one is much more defensive. They don't really look to him for the passes. Freuler is the one that is the ball playing one, place between the 2 CDMs, pass the ball around, plays a lot of short passes, so it's not like he plays risky ones. He plays safe passes, he plays with the defenders, he sits a lot more back. Again, he's the one that they look to, which is what I like. And he averaged around 62 to 64 shots per 90 last season, which is right at his mark. And again, going up against a team that doesn't like to hold possession, I think it's a good matchup. He went over against them last season as well. So I like this. I like Remo Freuler to a higher than 64.5 passes. My next prop is Lamek Banda to a higher than 2 shots, playing at home for Lecce, going up against Verona. He's had 2+ in 2 out of 3 starts so far this season. He's come off of the bench a couple times, but he's had 2+ in 2 out of 3 starts. The only game where he didn't and when he started was against Inter Milan, so you can't really blame him there. And it was away, but now he's playing at home. He averaged 3.31 shots per 90 last season. And he's a long shot taker. Last season he took 21 from outside and 21 from inside. And he's a great dribbler and he likes to cut inside. And he took 37 with his right, 11 with his left. So yeah, sure, he's a little more heavy with the right, but he's still willing to take shots with his left. And he cuts inside. He's a great dribbler, so he doesn't need a lot of space to be able to take those shots. And he played him twice last season, went over in both games, and both home and away. He took 4 shots in each of those games, which is way over his mark. We need him to take at least 2, especially at home. I like this mark. And Verona, on average, have allowed 17 shots away from home so far this season, which is a high amount. So that's perfect for him. And Verona are weak at defending skillful players, skillers, which is what Banda is. He likes to dribble. They are weak against allowing and defending long shots, which Banda likes to take, and they're weak at defending attacks down the wing, which is where Banda plays. So just a great matchup. It's a great line. He's had good history on them. Even at 2.5, this gets bumps. I still like this line. I just like the matchup. I like Lamek Banda to go higher than 2 shots. The last player prop that I found that I like so far is on the other side for Hellas Verona playing away from home. It's understood to higher than 0.5 shots. He's gone over in his last 3 out of 5 games. His last 3 games actually he's gone over. He averaged 0.88 shots per 90 last season. And Lecce just in general allow a lot of shots. They've actually allowed more shots at home so far, allowing 13.4 away and allowing going all the way up to 19 at home. So on average they still allow 15.9. So either way, whether you take the average or them actually allowing more at home, they still allow a lot of shots. And even though he only averaged 0.88 shots per 90, I say only, but he averaged almost that 1 shot. He went over in both games against them last season, taking more than 1 shot in both of those games. He took 3 away from home, which is where he's playing now, and 2 at home. And he's a long shot taker. Last season, 17 shots were from outside the box and 7 were from inside the box. So he took over 66% of the shots that he took last season were from outside the box. And he also takes their set pieces. So when they have free kicks, if they have free kicks from close, he's going to be the one to take them and likely shoot them. And I also say that because Lecce, while they don't foul a lot. When I say a lot, they're not like a super high fouling team. They're about an average fouling team. They still tend to foul when they do in dangerous areas, such as right outside the box, which is good for us. So that can easily be a shot there. And both teams need points, so I expect both teams to go out there and shoot. He's had good history against them. It's a good matchup here. He's been doing pretty good in his last couple games. So I like this prop. I like understood to go higher than 0.5 shots. Quickly before I get into the money lines, as always, if you could like the video, comment, helps the video get boosted out to more people. It helps with the algorithm. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and turn on notifications so you're get notified when these videos come out. Lines tend to get bumped and taken away sometimes when these videos come out, and if you're worried about that, you could also join the membership. Totally optional for those that want to get it before it goes public. Those people that are there always get them before the bumps and stuff like that. Again, completely optional, and it's also a great way to support the channel if you want to do that. I also have my codes for all my player props and my money lines and even my Cashapp if you want to do that, and I really thank anybody and appreciate it if you support me in any way. My first money line play is both teams to score in the Cagliari and Bologna game. You can currently get this at -125 on Fliff. This prop hit in both games last season. So far this season, Cagliari have conceded 15-9 and Bologna have conceded 11-8. So both teams have tended to have pretty leaky defenses, and then Bologna, who are playing away, have conceded in every single away game that they've played so far this season for league and in the Champions League in all 6 games. And Cagliari have capable and decent attackers. As long as they can, 1 or 2 of them can be in decent form, they will score. They have Viola, good midfielder and a playmaker. They have Piccoli, who I mentioned before, and they have Lovombo, who has his moments as well. He tends to be in the right place at the right time, and they are capable enough to be able to score. And they also picked up Marin from Empoli in the midfield, who's a great pickup as well, who's a good playmaker that can help him distribute and find the attackers, just like Lovombo and Piccoli as well. And then Cagliari have conceded in 5 out of 6 at home so far, and the only clean sheet that they kept was in the very first game against Roma, when Roma weren't really playing good in the first couple games. So that was the last time that they didn't concede at home, was in the very first game, which is good for us as well. And then Bologna also have better, if anything better, and more capable attackers than Cagliari have, with Castro, Orsolini, and Carlson to help them score as well. And Cagliari, when it comes to matchup between the two teams, Cagliari like to attack from long balls and counter attacks, and that's because they hold less possession, but that's the way they score, which is fine with them because Bologna like to hold more possession, which also means more chances for them. So each of their play styles kind of help and with the way they play. I mentioned before that both teams need the points because they don't have that many points. Bologna's actually only lost 1 game out of 8, but they've drawn 6 of them, so they barely have any points at all. And but like I said, both teams have league defenses and capable offenses, so I like the value you're getting here. So like both teams to score in the Cagliari and Bologna game. Good history between them as well. And then the second money line play is a slip. You can currently get this at +105. And the first one is in a DFK Pokal in the German league, and a Stuttgart money line against Kaiserslautern, if I'm pronouncing that right. all of this slip in general is just taking really the bigger team at home against much smaller teams. Well, I'm against smaller teams. I'm not going to say much smaller teams, just smaller teams. So they should be able to beat the other team. Like I said, first one, Stuttgart. They're the much better team. Kai, on the other hand, I'm just saying that just for short, are 10th place in the second league in Germany. So it's not like they're even the best team in the second division. They're a mid team in that division. And it's Stuttgart at home, who even with bench players they're still a much better team. So far, Stuttgart are still undefeated at home, and even if Kaiserslautern still score, Stuttgart can easily outscore them, and that's even if they do score. So just a much better team. So I could Stuttgart money line against Kaiserslautern. The second play in this moneyline slip is the Leipzig moneyline against St. Pauli. Again, they're a much better team with bench players, and they actually played this season and it was actually a 0-0 draw. But Leipzig were unlucky to score. St. Pauli's keeper had 5 saves. And that game was whenever they played away from home. But now they're playing at home, in which they're undefeated in the league there. Anyways, and Leipzig will want to get revenge for tying in that game away from home. And now they're playing at home in this German Cup by accepting to go out there and just prove why they're a better team. And St. Pauli, they didn't score against Leipzig in that game. They struggled to score in the league. So I expect the same thing to happen here. They might not even be able to score. And even if they do, Leipzig can outscore them. So I like the Leipzig money line against St. Pauli. And then the third play in the slip is the Brentford money line against Sheffield Wednesday. And it really comes down to Brentford's ability to score. They've been able to score a lot this season, which is good for us. And I also say that because I don't mention bench players, because English teams tend to take like the EFL Cup and the FA Cup more serious. Yes, they will still might have a couple bench players, but I still expect a lot of big name players. So one of them I expect to be there is Wisa, just because he's coming back from injury. He started the last game, played well, and they're probably going to want him to stay there just so he can pick up the pace and get back in form from his injury. He's a really important player for them. And Sheffield are 13th out of 24th place in the second division in England. So again, it's not like they're the best team in the second division. They're still a mid team there. So Brentford's quality is just much higher. And Sheffield have conceded 11 goals in 6 away games. So they're leaky on defense away. In general in the second division, and against Brentford, that's going to be dangerous there. So they can definitely outscore Sheffield here, and Brentford are playing at home as well. So I like this Brentford money on against Sheffield. As always, you can take them the slip how it is, or you can take some, add them to your own. Whatever you want to do, whatever can help you make money. Just make sure to trust yourself, and in general with money lines and anything, don't just blindly tell. Make sure to do your own research as well. Just because if you do your research correlates well with mine, that's just even better for both sides. Thank you everybody for watching. Quickly going over last video's picks. 2 videos ago, well before that we had like 3 days of doing great on player props. Then we had that 1 day 2 videos ago where we just didn't do great. And then last video we were able to pick up the pace again. Player prop wise, 1 away from sweeping those. We were 4-1. The only miss was Rashford at a play higher than 2 shots. I believe he took 1. He couldn't take that second one. But Ramiro under 2.5 saves hit. I had Caicedo under on passes. That one hit as well. Harry Kane goal or assist hit as well. We had the Lazio higher than 1.5. That one was money line. That one hit. And then we had Madison at a play higher than 1.5 shots. That one hit. And then Declan Rice higher than 2 tackles. He ended with 2. If you took the 1.5 on underdog, like I said, you would have hit there. And then the only miss that we had when it comes to the the money lines was the slip. Frankfurt came through against Berlin barely, but I literally mentioned how Atletico Madrid had not lost to Betis in like 12 years and 26 straight games, and the one time we take them, they lose. They hit the post a couple times. They were unlucky to score, but the one time we take them, they lose their first game against Betis in 12 plus years. So that was just horrible luck there. You can't predict that. But coming back in these with these couple games, hopefully we can keep the momentum going on player props, and then hopefully not be as unlucky on money lines. As always, if I do have any added plays, I will put them in the pinned comment in the description, usually about an hour to 30 minutes before the game starts. Also with the MLS games, I might add some more props for those in the added plays as well. Just depends. I want to see how the lineups are. MLS seems to rotate their teams a little more. But other than that, I hope everybody has a good night, a good day, and we can cash out tomorrow.